You're not paid to be on call because you're not on call. Throwaway and vague details, as there are work rules about posting on social media, also mobile, so apologies for formatting etc. I work in a support role for a global insurance/investment company. Over the last 6 months I've lost many an evening and weekend to unexpected work problems, with not even a thank you, let alone any financial compensation. As an example, being called at 21:30 and asked if you can log on, when you've met friends for a drink. Where a job needs to provide out-of-hours support, a supplement is meant to be paid for being on call, with additional payment if you're required to actually work. My contract is based on annual salary, where additional work might be required for no extra pay/overtime if it's considered business as usual, BAU, or known in advance. This bit is important. However, the work I've been asked to do on weekends/evenings is not BAU. BAU assumes processes work. If something goes wrong, someone needs to step in to fix it, and it's no longer BAU. Hope that makes sense. A couple of months ago, I had a conversation with my manager about being paid for being on call. I was told the work I was covering actually fell under BAU, and as I was always given advance notice, I wasn't. I wouldn't be paid for being on call. Manager wouldn't budge on this, so I made it clear I would not be taking my laptop home/available unless I was given advance notice I might be required to log on, to which my manager agreed. On this glorious day I received a call from my manager asking me to log on as some critical data was missing from a file, causing significant problems with several admin systems. Trying to sound as sincere as I could, I apologized and said as I was not made aware in advance, and I'm not on call, my laptop was left at the office. This was met by an R. To which I responded, good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow. Expecting it to be a shit show in the morning for Muggins here to clean up, but it'll be worth it. Edit 1, wow. Was cathartic to write this last night, did not expect this. I'm on my way to work now and will look to update once the fan has been cleaned of shit. Edit 2, so last night after the call to me, my manager rang around and finally got hold of a manager from team I provide support to. Over several hours, between them they figured out that somehow a group in the system had not been run for the day. Controls are in place so this shouldn't be possible. To fix it, they had to run the missed group, validate the movements, and then rerun processes to send the data to the admin systems. After looking into it this morning, this is for Team P to look into how they've managed to done goof on such a scale. A near miss recorded with governance, who they'll need to explain it to. This caused several issues with admin systems and a lot of verifying everything is as it should be this morning. Following this, a group email has been sent around, to remind people that laptops should be taken home. As in the event of the building being unavailable/inaccessible, recovery plans are for people to use their laptops to work from home/alternate site. It seems the manager had trouble contacting someone with a laptop able to log on. I'm positive they'll have no issues finding someone to drop everything at a moment's notice going forward. I fear that should I receive a similar call in future, I'll not be in a position to access my laptop. Work/life balance is important, and I'm going to enforce those boundaries. The trouble is, it starts as a one-off here and there, and you do it to be nice with the best of intentions, but give an inch and they'll take a mile if you're not careful. For some of those asking, I'm already looking at other jobs. Although there's definitely issues with the management in my current area, and employees being taken for granted, not just me, the company as a whole does have a good ethos. Hope this provides at least a little amusement, and is only giving back a tiny amount of what you've all given me. I'm not planning on any more updates, so this it from me. Thank you all, and don't let the bastards grind you down. Now to the comments. Lol, definitely gonna need an update on this when you go in. My guess, update, my boss now keeps giving me advance notice every single day. Advance notice implies something specific, like we've scheduled the migration outside of regular business hours next evening, be prepared to assist at that time, and since you're salaried instead of hourly, you can flex a little for that kind of thing every now and then. Ideally, you have a reasonable agreement that lets you shift around your hours in response to that sort of business needs without it being a big deal. On the other hand, a general statement of be ready to work outside of hours in case something should happen to unexpectedly go wrong means that you're on call, and legally entitled to extra pay. If your boss isn't willing to pick one or the other, your options are either to try complaining to HR and or local labor law about it, or to find other employment. Yeah, we're going to need to come in on the weekend. You are hereby obligated to update us, but won't be getting paid extra to do so, because advanced notice was given. Around here, we use the 2-hour call-out rule, which means, if I can fix it over the phone, then I don't get paid any extra. Only get paid hours worked. But if I have to travel anywhere in my personal conveyance, then I get paid a minimum of 2 hours. Call-out was fantastic. I had a summer job at a mill and agreed to come in on Saturday and help the warehouse with inventory. I get about 2 hours sleep because I'm also working at a bar. First thing I hear is computers are down. You can go home and take 4 or sit and do nothing to get 8. My first question is, when did you know about this? Turns out they'd known since 5 p.m. the day before. They just never called me. Got paid 4 hours of OT, not just base, for 5 minutes. Union job? There will be a shit show. A lot of people do not understand the concept of what exempt means. Companies will skirt around it, etc. They will try to staff a 24/7 operation by covering 16 hours with on-call. It is only works as long as the employee voluntarily complies. This tactic quickly falls apart if the on-call employee is working 50 hours a week. Documented controlled on-call and disciplinary actions occur if the timelines are not met. A few, "Don't have my laptop with me" or "I am not available this weekend" forces the company to reevaluate the on-call requirements. It gets even better when they realize that the escalation path does not include people who have the skills to address the issue. Even worse, they realize that they have jeopardized their standing with the employee who has the ability to address these issues on a 24/7 basis. I know several companies that pay extra for on-call rotations worked by the IT staff, especially if it is a controlled on-call and has a response time requirement, no alcohol and must respond in 15 minutes, etc. This usually softens the blow, but it is nowhere near compensation of what would be considered overtime. Also, exempt is not based on the job title, but based on things like tasks, authority to defer work. I believe a famous coffee company got in trouble a few years back when they tagged a large number of employees as exempt and stopped paying them overtime. The class action suit was swift and just. Another issue is that exempt employees are not required to work a full 40 hours to get their weekly salary. An employee can work 48 hours one week and only 32 hours the next. There are problems if a company tries to withhold wages for a salaried position. If they dock your salary for hours not worked, it may justify an assessment of the exempt status of this position and possible all similar exempt positions in the organization. This means that if they say they can dock your salary based on your job title, they better be docking everyone with the same job title. Blah blah blah. An acceptable bargain is that you get back hours that you work overtime. Each 4 hours overtime equals 8 hours PTO. These hours are available the following business week. Watch a company of several 100 people try operating with that flexibility on the books. I used to work shipping years ago and they put me on salary. I didn't realize they can't do that because it's manual labor position. On top of managing the department, I shipped 80% of the time. I also would work more than 8 hours. But God forbid I leave an hour early for a doctor's appointment, they would dock my pay. I'm so glad I left that place. Same here. Used to work 50 hours a week, but absolutely, no matter what, could not work less than 40.